Hello, my name is Richard and welcome to No Pro with a GoPro. This video is one of a series that I'm making on the attempts I make on riding my road bike up some of the South Wales classic climbs. There's a link in the notes below to sort of a list of about 30 or so of these climbs in and around South Wales, some of which I have already done, but my intention now over the coming weeks, months, probably years in reality, will be to video my efforts and trying to tick them all off. Part of my bucket list, I guess, for South Wales bike riding for me. So I hope you enjoy it. The Strava outline that I've put together shows the route that I took in trying to complete this particular climb of the British. So what you're looking at now is a Strava flyby route map showing the route I took to attempt the British. Starting in Newport, up through Cwmbran, and then up into Pontypool. And this is really where the British climb actually starts. And it's sort of steep to start off with, then flat, and then it sort of ramps up again to the summit. And then we came over the top of the mountainside, having sort of admired the views, and then you sort of head down, comes down the mountain in towards Crumlin, and then down into Newbridge. That's Crumlin. We sort of stopped for a geocache, through Newbridge, again stopped for another geocache, but were unsuccessful on the second attempt here, and then we carried on the sort of the B road, which really goes all the way down through Cross Keys, which is where we are now, and then down into Risca. As you can see from the profile, it's fairly flat from Risca all the way back down to Newport. So that's the route. So here we go, we're just starting on the Zion part of the route, which is a climb, a category 4 climb before you even get to the British. Now the funny thing about this, we got a little bit up the way, and the guy I was riding with, Steve, he yelled out behind me and sort of said, have we started the climb yet? Because he hadn't fully realized the route we were taking. And I unfortunately had to tell him, as I'm afraid not, this is just the warm-up, but we haven't even actually got to the foot of the British. So he was a bit disappointed with that, but at least I thought it was funny, if nothing else. So I'll get to the top of sort of a first little break. I'm just pulling in here, predominantly, firstly to let my colleague Steve catch up with me. So, this is one of the things we agree. I'm at the moment a better hill climber than he is, and so I'll climb on a bit and then just stop and wait for him to catch up. So I'm just here. I get the beauty of having a bit of a rest. Steve tends to just plod along and keep going as much as he can, but eventually you'll see him coming up out of the darkness. There he is, just coming through to the sunshine, car going past, and he's just chugging away as he does. Keep it going. And there he goes, and I just let him go past. He's usually quite abusive when I'm filming him, which just seems fair enough. And, just getting going there. Just getting clipped in myself, and then I'm off, and I shall just follow him up for a little while. So according to Strava, the segment that goes up Zion Hill, it's got an average gradient of 8%. It's a 1 kilometre climb. It's a category 4 they work it out at. So it's a reasonably tough undertaking, I suppose, for sort of moderately fit cyclists. And it's sort of a nice little leg warmer and lung warmer before the main event of the British, which is coming up later on the route. So the climb up and over the British and measuring it really depends on where you start the climb from. Where we are now, we're on sort of a Strava segment called Climb Over the British, and that's sort of round sort of 1.92 kilometres or so long, with an average gradient of about 11% or so. The sort of the South Wales climbs is sort of like the sort of semi-official route. Starts down on the B4246 in Abersychan, which is more or less where we had started from in any case. But that then gives it a distance of around 4.3 kilometres. But really, the first part up to where we are is relatively flat. There's not much climbing involved. So arguably, it's the second bit really is where the hard work comes in. And this sort of last section, well, the main section really, it's a category 3 climb according to Strava, and certainly it's interesting.
We're going sharp right. I don't think they'll have repaired it recently. Just think of the cobbles. You're practicing. Yeah, the state of the road is not good. This is going to be a bumpy old ride up and worse down. But there we go. Apparently
description of the climb, and it's sort of, why is it the British? Well, that's the name of an old ironworks that was up on this mountainside, looking over Pontypool. You know, as obviously it's disused now, but going up through the gorge, through the valley, is extremely attractive. There's some fantastic views. So on a clear day, certainly makes it a very enjoyable experience from a visual point of view.
That's it. show the view.
Those caps are a bit gappy.
They are. Break to admire the view. We set off again. Have to catch Steve up. He's carried on. You can see him up ahead. Red blob in the distance. Bits on the camera. There's obviously a motor solar crossing up there. Old pit tower. Air shaft probably, I guess. The car coming. it makes it up. No stopping, no dabs. Yay!
I can honestly say, I never want to go out there again. That was pretty mental.
Right, let us descend. Slowly, because of the state of the road.
The road surface on the climb mainly is poor. There are some bits which are okay, but to be honest, the road surface for the descent is really pretty rough, and actually means that the descent is only marginally quicker than the ascent in order to be reasonably safe. So I've not bothered showing that part of the route on the video because it's sort of there's no real downhill excitement to be had. But hopefully at some point the local authority will get around to resurfacing it, but that's probably many years away yet, and no doubt the road quality will deteriorate over time. Along this section of the road and down on the left, you'll notice there are actually some remains of what was some buildings. Actually, these buildings were a couple of very small houses, which one of which my father-in-law actually lived in as a child, some sort of 70 odd years ago. It's a pretty bleak place to live, don't you think? Well, that's it for now, and I hope you enjoyed my latest video. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe using the button below and join in the discussion by adding your feedback in the comments section as well. See you all again soon.